Hey y'all, Ms. B. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 4, The Vault. So, the episode opens up really meh. I mean, we have Britt and Angela. They meet up in the park. Britt brings her dog. Angela, they supposed to be working out or whatever. They start chatting about houses and whatever, walking or whatever. Britt catches a dog in her mouth. I mean, in this scene, I was like, let's get into the nose of it all. Between Britt talking like this and between Angela Oakley's 90s nose, I was like, oh my God. The nose of I literally wrote the nose of it all. Like, let's get into the nose of it all. But anyway, they get to talking about their different situations. Charles, Oakley and Angela's mother is not getting along. Angela's basically saying, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be telling when you're married, you're not supposed to be telling your family about your business. That's any relationship, baby. That I was taught that a long time ago. Whatever you got going on in your relationship, your marriage, or whatever your situationship, do not tell your family, because your family gonna still have a problem with your man, and they not gonna be over. And apparently, Angela mama voiced her grievances to Charles, but Charles is the one apparently supporting the mama. And then also, I guess he got mad about some cleaning up or whatever. And so Angela was talking about that with Britt. And then Britt also talks about her sisters. We know about her sisters' relationship again. We see her sisters again. And she was saying also, too, one of her sisters, Cher, has an issue with her husband. And, basically both of them, Angela and Britt, have men who have them in comfortable lives, but also supporting their families as well. But these family members don't like these men. Basically, that's what I took away from that scene. And then Angela talks about, she wants to get all the ladies together and, get an event. And for the umpteenth 100,000th time, Britt talks about Kenya again. Girl, we only 4 episodes in. And every single episode you have brought up Kenya. And I'm starting to see now why things unfolded the way they did. Anyway, I'm going to move on. The next scene, we see Shamia and her sister. Shamia sitting by the pool, popping champagne, playing her music. I like her song. I like her new song. It's giving real, R&B, kind of 90s vibe-esque. And Shamia let us know she started singing in church. She was in music groups. I had no idea she was in music group of Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson is an amazing writer, and I love Carrie Hilson. It's sad that she got canceled for coming out to Beyonce, but I mean, we still love Carrie Hilson. Anyway, Shamia plays her song for her sister. It's a bop. But the whole time, baby, the people, I guess the property next door is mowing their lawn or whatever. And then they go to Shamia's confessional. She was like, she wants to make up with Angela, but she keep throwing these little Michael Jackson nose references. Your nose is mine. Girl, I hollered. I said, Shamia is funny. And then anyway, she was saying, she was telling her sister, she can't be this sisterhood group, trying to bring everybody together if she's being petty with Angela. She wants to make up with her. And she was like, I'm a moonwalk. All the Michael Jackson references. I'm a moonwalk my way up out of this. And then anyway, Shamia instantly Instacarts olive oil, which we later know why she does that. But they were just talking about that, talking about the song, talking about Angela Oakley, talking about, Shamia doesn't want to be like that. This song. I like this song. I really like this song. And Shamia and her husband want to buy the property next door. I was like, girl, come on, coins. So you so rich, girl, you don't like to even hear the lawnmower next door. You can just buy the property. Go ahead. Go off, Shamia. Anyway, the next thing we see Portia at her headquarters, I guess, pampered by Portia. She shows up to her office with her staff, her assistant, her creative director. She's been doing pamper with Portia for I think she said she started 7 years ago. I want to say, when I used to see her linens or whatever on Instagram. I didn't know she didn't have like a full bedding set, like a whole bed in a bag set. I didn't know it was just sheets. I was thinking in my head, I was like, if I'm gonna start a bedding line, I would like do the whole bed in the bag where you get the comforter, you get the sheets, you get the pillowcases, you get all the mattress cover. I didn't know she was just selling sheets, but hey, is it good? Does anybody have Pampered by Portia? She started 7 years ago, but for the last 3 years, we know she wanted to be a housewife and, be kept by Simon Gubadia, the scammer, or whatever, allegedly they say he is. I don't know. Child, is he still locked up by ICE? We ain't heard nothing about Simon. Child, is he still in America? Did they send him back to Africa? Girl, somebody let me know where's Simon Gubadia at? Anyway, she was saying she wants to retire at 40. Child, me too. When she said that, I was like, girl, me too. But I wouldn't be got with no scamming in Africa. Anyway, and she was like, talking to her team. It's time for Cinderella to wake up. She wants to do all these things. And they get to talk about gold naked hair. And then her creative director was like, I just want you to know that Drew and Dennis reached out to me and was like, they wanted to do a Go Naked Hair campaign, with the music or the production. And he was like, I didn't know Dennis was Quincy Jones. I was like, who knew? The whole time we ever known of Dennis is these hot dogs. Okay? Now he a producer. But anyway, Portia lets us know also too that Drew has not kept up with her end of the contract. And she was like, Go Naked is a corporation. She said, we have admin, it's Portia. We have attorneys, it's Portia. We have HR, it's Portia. She was like, I can't just fire her like her voice is like, I can't just fire her like that. But I want to. But I hope she quit or whatever. She said something like that. But anyway, that was a whole scene with Portia and her staff and her team, her Go Naked Hair, her bedding line. Like, again, I thought it was like a bed in a bag situation when I should see her post. I didn't know it was just sheets. Okay, anyway. Do you, girl. You got a business, not me. Next scene, Ralph and Drew. Drew and Ralph. Why did they bring Drew back? Every time I see Drew or Ralph or Drew on my screen, on my TV screen, I roll my eyes as hard as they can possibly roll because I do not like to see Drew. I'm over Drew and Ralph. I'm tired of hearing about this marriage. I'm tired of hearing about this divorce. I'm just tired of Drew and Ralph. Anyway, I'm going to go through it really quickly like I always do on Drew's scene. He outside playing with the boys, doing football. Then they flash back to their marital issues a couple years ago when they were in counseling. And then I want to know, Bravo, why does Ralph have a confessional scene? And the producer had to call him out, why you came here with no shirt on? We don't care about you like that, Ralph. And then that little scene about him in the basement, ATL Cribs, get away from us with this. Like, nobody's interested in Ralph and Drew. And also too, like, that whole the conversation they had in the front yard, like they could have cut that out and left it on the editing floor. I didn't even care about that. I fast forward through that so quickly, and then they ended they scene talking about their marriage and divorce and da. Oh, and by the way, Drew calls him a narcissist but doesn't even know the definition. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Ralph leaves. He was like, it's your weekend. It's past my curfew. What kind of life is that? I would not want to live like that. I would just be like, you know what? I'm about to go get me an apartment or something away from here because I can't. That's crazy. Anyway, the next scene we have Kelly and Kenya, and they're at Kenya Moore Hair Spa where everything's going to implode for Kenya in her life. And Kelly comes in there looking cute. I want to say, out of all the newbies, Kelly, Angela, Britt, Kelly's by far my favorite newbie. I can say that. Oh, Shamia. But Shamia's not really a newbie. But it's not, she's a friend of, but I'm like full-time housewife. Out of the newbies that we never knew, I want to say Kelly is my favorite. And she walks around. Kenya called her for, assistant because, she got these good businesses, waffle business and stuff. And then Kenya was like, at one point was like, why you had a bodyguard? I want to say, every scene I have seen Kelly in, I have seen that big bodyguard around her. And I was thinking in my head, but today she confirmed it, that she has that bodyguard for her safety because her ex-husband. And I tried to Google, who is this man she was married to? Because she lets us know that she has a restraining order on her. He threatened to take all the businesses away. He threatened to unalive her in court. He can't see the kids. And Kenya used the reference, he tried to color purple you, until you do right by me, ain't nothing good gonna come for you. And she was like, but guess what? I did my way next. Hell, that's right, Kelly, go off, girl. And then Kenya starts having a moment where she gets emotional, saying she spent $400,000 on Kenya Moore hair spa, which to me, great investment if it works out. It's a beautiful spa. I would love to get my hair. Do you got some good stylists in there? If I lived in Atlanta. But Kenya, this thing that you're going to do with Britt to embarrass her, whatever happens, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. You shouldn't have did that in your business, girl. Especially you crying, saying you didn't spend Brooklyn's college education fund on this business, and you're going to use your grand opening to embarrass this girl. That was so not smart. And then Kelly gives Kenya very good advice. She's like, girl, pray, manifest that, trust and believe Brooklyn gonna have her education, your business gonna work out. Because she was like, how did you get people in your business? She said, girl, you word of mouth, you just gotta trust and believe. Believe it's gonna work out. So I really, really like Kelly. I really like Kelly. It sounds like she was living a freaking Ike and Tina type of marriage. Who is this man? I Googled him. I don't know him. What is he famous for? Like, what is he about? Somebody let me know. Please, in my comments, somebody please tell me, who is this man that Kelly was married to that seems to be terrorizing the hell out of her in her whole life? God dang. I had read one article, but it was old, about him saying something in court, but whatever. I don't care about that. Let's go to Britt and her sister's scene. Her sister share. They show Britt arriving, and when she got out the car, they showed her feet, and then she had like these red things around her feet. I know this is like probably irrelevant, but I was like, that looks like some of the things they put on your feet, like when people got DUIs and stuff, they have to monitor their, I don't know, or house arrest things. I was like, is that a style? Like, what is it? Neither here nor there, but I was just curious about that. So she sits there, and you see times passing and passing and passing, and they use it as shots and drinking. And finally, the sister arrives really late, and you could tell the sister seems like she's been going through a lot. While Britt is always, I don't have many friends. Britt has said, I don't have many friends, and talk about Kenya every single episode. Number 4, I don't have a lot of friends, and family is my only friend. Sister's basically sitting down trying to tell her, like, when I'm going through something. First she asked her, have you talked to mom? She's like, no, I blocked her. She was like, you can't always be blocking people, She was like, but that's my defense mechanism. I kind of understood that, because when I don't want to talk to people and there's a lot of people getting on my nerves, that's my first thing I do too. I will block you until I feel like I'm blocking you. Because it's like when you're not in a good space with somebody and they're constantly like pouring negative energy, and you already like don't want to be bothered, don't feel like hearing or dealing with it, I'm a blocker too. I mean, I understood the sister. You could tell the sister's been going through a lot. Even Britt said herself, she took it the hardest when the father passed away. So I don't understand why Britt don't have a lot of grace for her sister. And her sister was letting her know, like, when I talk to you, I want to talk to you. And I was trying to understand, Britt, I've been married before too. And the relationships that I have with me and my siblings is between me and my siblings. And if I want to have private conversations offline with my siblings, my ex or whoever, my partner, doesn't have to be there all in my business. I understand if he's going to help support your sister or whatever, and because he's married to you and he was this big brother to your sister, that doesn't mean that y'all relationship has to change because of that. You so happy to be married, girl. Like, girl, it's a lot of people been married, girl. And your weird ass husband, I'm like, okay, girl, congratulations to you and your weird ass husband being married. Because even her sister like mimic her, like, that is my husband. And I was like, yes, like whatever. And the whole time, the sister trying to talk to her, the point is being proven because Mike is blowing up Britt's phone. Like, that's weird. Your husband's weird. You weird. Please don't let us know again that you were that girl. Please don't let us know again that you don't get along with a lot of females. I guess you think they jealous of you because, girl, we tired of hearing it. Is that your only storyline? Is that your only tagline? Britt, you're my least favorite newbie. And when this episode ends, even more. And I ain't no Kenya defender now. But let's go back to the other situation. So the next we have Drew and Dennis. I want to say I understand they're working together. I understand him and Portia. That's her baby daddy. The optics of this scene did not look good. It did not look good. Drew came in all dressed up in her little hoochie mama skirt and her thigh-high boots. And even Dennis was like, you got a performance tonight? And she's like, I'm coming to perform in the booth. And then they get to talking whatever, and Drew's like, y'all gonna get me in trouble. He was like, and they was like, what you mean in trouble? Like, you getting divorced? She's like, not yet, but that's not the trouble I'm talking about. So she asked the other guy to leave the room. She told Dennis, she was like, I've been in trouble because I don't know what's going on. Can you talk to Portia, whatever? He was like, I don't know what's going on. Typical man. Because the cameras flash back 2 weeks later of Portia saying, if you film with anybody on this show, it's going to be a problem. And Drew was like, well, can you talk to her? And he basically was like, nah, you go figure that out. And he kind of lets us know, like, when we first started this music situation, she was in Africa eating fufu. But still, that was your baby mama. And I don't know Portia personally. We all know how Portia get down. So anyway, they finished the scene with Drew trying to get this outro, intro song together. I've heard great things about Drew's music. I have not listened to Drew's album, but I saw them post a song or whatever, album cover or whatever, her and Dennis, and I saw Portia comment like, go off baby daddy and blah blah blah. So I guess everything is well now. Gotta think about this stuff was filmed a long time ago, but the optics of it just doesn't look good, Drew. It doesn't. And she's trying to get her outro or whatever song she was singing. I was gonna say, I personally feel like I like Shamia's song better. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm a music lover. Music is therapeutic for me. So when I hear a song, hear a beat, hear a lyric, hear whatever, like, I instantly jump. When I heard Shamia's song, I was like, When I heard Drew's song, I was like, That's just my thing. Anyway, the next scene, everybody getting ready for Angela's event. You see Portia and Shamia on FaceTime. Shamia not getting ready. Portia looked like she fully ready. And Shamia was like, she want to talk to Angela. She was trying to figure out a way to apologize to her. And Portia was like, girl, she invited you to the thing. Like, don't think too much into it. Then you have a scene with Britt and Kelly on FaceTime. And they both was talking about how it's in Bankhead and how they bring in security. This lets me know Angela's age, because everybody be talking about Angela's age. How I know of Bankhead, I'm not from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, but I remember the Bankhead bounce in the 90s. Remember everybody used to do the Bankhead bounce if you my age? I was like, and they keep saying it was a horrible neighborhood, do the Bankhead. Remember that? And to do the Bankhead, I don't want to do my shoulder. My shoulders can't Bankhead. But I was like, this is really showing Angela's age, because I'm like, why would you pick Bankhead? I'm not from Georgia, but I'm like, that's so 90s, so Bankhead. Well, anyway, Angela arrives. The theme is black excellence, for everybody being black. The setup looked nice though. When she walks in, they do a whole thing. Setup looks nice. So then after we have Britt comes in, Drew arrives, Portia arrives. And like I said, in Portia's confessional, she said, I ain't never heard of no vault, but I know about Bankhead. And she did her show to Google the Bankhead bounce. It was popular in the 90s. Then Kelly arrives with her bodyguard in tow. Kenya arrives not wearing black. And I was like, it didn't really bother me, but I'm like, Kenya. Like, we've been watching Kenya on TV for a long time. Like, Kenya gotta do the most. Like, that's Kenya being Kenya. So Kenya goes around a table, and I watched this scene a couple of times, and she greets everybody the same type of way. But when she gets to Britt, like, she gave a little pat, and Britt was like, oh, that was a pat. And then Kenya was like, because I don't want to get makeup on me. Like, Britt was, I don't know, how did they know each other before they start filming? Did they film something before? Because from Shamia's party, so this girl bringing up Kenya each episode, something is there that has been stewing for a minute. Anyway, Kenya's not wearing black, and Pat's Britt, and Britt got a problem with that. Shamia comes in with the olive oil that she ordered, that she Instacarted when she was talking to her sister, with a little olive branch in her. I thought that was sweet. I thought that was cute. I really, really like Shamia. Shamia seemed like a really, really good person that I would really like to know personally. But anyway, and in reference wants to extend an olive branch, and she apologized to Angela for coming after her 90s nose. Woo! Anyway, and then after that, they get down sitting, talking, kikiing or whatever, and then they talk about, Kelly brings up her event, and she was like basically saying it takes for everybody to buy something, and kind of alluded like everybody didn't buy nothing. And then Kenya was like, well, who didn't buy nothing, girl? And she looked at Drew, which was not surprising. Do we remember the season where the person was suing Drew because she didn't pay for some services that she had? Was not surprising. And Drew was like, I did. Look. She pulls out her phone. Look at the transactions. And it's a chat with her and Dennis. And Kelly makes it known, like, I see the message you're showing me of you talking to the sales associate, but you didn't do a transaction. That's the difference, Drew. And then Drew was like, I spent $2,000 on the Balmain suit jacket for my son. Whatever. And then after that, Kenya announces her grand opening of Kenya Moore Hair Spa. And then Angela asks Shamia, hey girl, like, what you been up to? And then Shamia says, you know, I got this song. I want y'all to hear it. And then Shamia starts to play the song, and Portia instantly starts to shade Shamia. Portia. Gubadia or Williams? Which name we going by? You was shady as hell for how you did Shamia. Why would that girl be playing Drew's song? Because like I said, I like the song. And she was just talking, that ain't your voice. Oh, that's Drew's song. Just being so shady. I did not like that. Portia, is y'all best friends or not? I would not want to be your best friend. I used to ride hard for you, Portia. So, girl, what happened to you? Get away from them scammers, girl. They done got you acting shady. But anyway, Portia knew that wasn't Drew. And then Angela and Drew both clocked it in their confessionals. It's like, Drew was like, she knew that wasn't me. That's not my voice. And then Angela was like, ain't that your best friend? You haven't heard her song? Like, you don't know your best friend voice? So then after that, after Shamia plays her song, everybody claps except Portia. She's still looking confused. The little ditzy thing she like to do. Girl, you know what you was doing. Portia, you started made me like, girl, I'm telling you, I've been riding for you, ride for me, die for me. I've been riding for you hard for years. Don't make me dislike you, Portia, okay? Because you're starting to show your hand, and I don't like it. How you doing, Shamia? Don't like it. So anyway, they started playing a question game. First question was, Shamia, what did you do to thank your husband for the Rolls Royce? And honey, Shamia was like, I'm not going to do all the gestures that she was doing, but if you watch, you get the point. She gave him fellatio. She turned around, roll that thing over, bring it back. I mean, I couldn't believe that they slow-moed that or like put so much emphasis on it. I was like, Bravo, are we okay? Bravo. This still on TV. Are we okay? Anyway, so the next second question is, so Angela, what's a secret you don't want the group to know? And then she was like, I don't know, I'm an open book or whatever. And then somebody asked her about threesomes. She was like, no, I don't do threesomes. And King was like, good. She was like, I'm bringing it into my bedroom. And then Portia chimes in. It was like, oh yeah, I heard about Charles. And then Britt was like, girl, what's the tea? What's the tea? She was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. And in Angela's confessional, she says, Portia, now you don't even want to mention your marriage. You still haven't answered Kelly's question from the first episode, why you take that lady husband, but you're gonna bring up her husband. And then she called her a stupid bitch. And the production producers was like, what you say? She said, oh, I ain't say nothing. That was good, Angela. Anyway, third question was to Kenya. Kenya, what color panties do you want on? Because Kenya got on this. She said Versace, blue dress with a high little split. The dress was high. And I guess she opens up her thing and shows she ain't got no panties on. And everybody's like going off. In that moment, I keep calling this girl Brooke. Brit. Clock Brit's face. She was ready for a moment with Kenya that night. From the time Kenya walked into that with that blue dress on, Even when she stood up and playing, and Portia was like, girl, you showing off your moose. Kenya, you got a big old vagina, girl. Like, you know, everybody laughing, kicking. Look at Britt. You been wanting this moment with Kenya. Anyway, let's move on. It was another question for Kenya, and I'm like, who did this? Was this production? Was this like a scheme that Todd set up to come with us to BS? Because why Kenya got so many questions? The fourth question was, why you so rare, and this is Drew reading it, about happily married woman. And it's supposed to be women. But Britt chimes in, it's women. And then Kenya was like, no, I'm not. She was like, I guess that's a habit based on our history. Remember her, Apollo and Phaedra, da-da-da. She makes a little joke. And then there was another question, was like, Kenya. And Kenya was like, I guess I'm popular tonight. Kenya ain't new to this. She true to this. Britt, you ain't. You're new to this. She said, can you speak to Britt kindly without an attitude? That was the fifth question they asked. They asked, and it was for Kenya. And Kenya says, I can speak to everybody kindly. And Britt said, no, what about me, though? What about me? What about me, though? What about me? The question is about me. And then Kenya was like, I'm not going to do this childish stuff. She was kind of paying Britt dust. Britt wanted a moment. And then Kenya was like, you know, peasants can't speak to the queen. And in that moment, I was thinking in my head, I was like, the way you carrying on, Britt, you are acting like a jester. Baby, I would have never thought in my life I would have defended Kenya more. But you were doing the most. So then after that, Angela sees it's getting hot. Everybody sees it's hot. And then Britt starts doing the absolute most. You start acting like a video vixen. You start acting like da-da-da-da-da. You start acting like all the things I guess they're going to show you at the next episode. Because we're going to see why Kenya gets fired on the next episode. She turns up doing the most, overreacting. Everybody is saying she's overreacting. And Angela trying to pass out the gifts. Kenya and them trying to leave. Britt's like, let me go call my husband that cares. Girl, nobody care about that husband. He weird. You weird. Your nose. Blow your nose. Britt, blow your nose. Anyway, and I mean, every confession of Britt doing the most. Britt being extra. Britt bringing something. Kelly brought up something very pivotal. She said, she needs to calm down first. She says something she regrets, because she does. Because she says, I got a pistol on me. A pom-pom on me. Girl, you said that on camera, on TV. And then everybody's, you know, saying, you know, Brooke is doing the most. I mean, Britt, I could call this girl Brooke. Britt is doing the most. And she all outside, this ain't Hollywood, da, 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 da. And Kenya just like paying her dust. And Kenya, you know, starts to get in the car with Shamia and Portia. And then her husband, she was like, get this off of me. This ain't no Hollywood. This real life. Da, 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 da. Just doing the most. So now that we got context, Britt, on why Kenya, you shouldn't have did it at your business, though. I see why she did it. Because you doubled down. I got whips. I got pistols. Da, 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 da. You was popping your big one. You wanted your Kenya Moore moment. And she just let you. Well, it kind of didn't work in Kenya's favor. But in this moment, it kind of explains why Kenya is going to do what she's going to do. And then you have basically Kenya and Shamia and Portia get in a car together, and they have a hot mic moment. And Kenya was like talking, you know, Rich and how this girl have guns. And Portia was like, she said that. And then Portia was like, she got a little too hype for me. That's why I'm getting over here. And then Shamia was like, Charles Oakley over here. And then Kenya made a joke. She's like, I'm staying far away from Charles Oakley because I don't want no problems with Angela Oakley. And that's how the episode ends. So we're going to see next episode what happens at Kenya. You shouldn't have, the girl was bothering you. She was picking with you because we didn't see Kenya be shady. Kenya wasn't even being the epic shady queen that she always could be. And I want to say bravo, F and bravo. How the heck Ralph lame ass got a goddamn confessional, and we can't get context on Kenya because she got fired because it's dumb ass Brit. Brit was asking for the moment from Kenya. Now we have context, guys, on why Kenya did what she did. Now, Kenya, you should have did that at your business. Again, I'm gonna say this 100,000 times. Whatever you did. And I also want to say, as I said in my previous videos, I follow Jessie Wu. I'm a member, and she did a recap on Housewives with King of Reeds. I forgot his name, whatever. And you can only see her members. And she said that Ming Lee, some girl that did the first girl that like started the whole beauty hair thing online, hair salon thing online stuff, that actually went to Basketball Wives, have been trying out to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you go back to the previous episode, she was in the Balmain store at Kelly's event with Shamia. And she's the one who gave Kenya Moore these pictures, I guess, that Kenya Moore is going to show in her grand opening. Kenya, I get it now. I get it now. I couldn't understand it at first, but it seems like there was something going on before. It seems like there's some history. Something is up. But I will say even the scenes when Kenya is not in the scenes, Brit is constantly bringing up Kenya. She brought her up to even her doggone sister-in-law. Every moment she's bringing up Kenya. If you look at that scene, and I watched that scene at that table 3 times. Every time Kenya would say something, make a joke, she wanted a moment. You look stupid, Brit. And Portia, I'm side-eyeing you more because Shamia said on Entertainment Tonight that she don't fool with Brit no more because she said something about her baby. And that's your best friend. And you out here on Instagram flocking around with her. Don't like it. Portia, Guadia, or Williams, whatever you are. This ain't no good comeback for you, girl. I know you was away from Housewives for a minute, but you could read the room. This was no good comeback. I don't like how you treat your best friend. I don't like it. Also, that I see why Kenya posted traitor on her Insta stories last week. She got in the car with you, girl. Kenya got in the car with you, with this girl was going out talking about pistols and stuff. When you start talking about that type of stuff like that, that's a whole different level. We're going to see. And I saw a preview of the next episode where Brit is going to say, I didn't say that, or I didn't threaten to harm her. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Girl, you got to be careful with your words. You got to watch your words. Kenya is not new to this. You got to watch. You see how she was quiet, not saying nothing, just letting you fall for the banana in the tailpipe. It's unfortunate Kenya got let go, and you here. And we got to deal with you and your stopped up nostrils. Go blow your nose. Take some Benadryl, some Mucinex, some nasal thingies or something. Because why is your nose so stopped up? And don't nobody care about your husband. He weird. Anyway, that's my recap of The Vault. I would like for everybody to please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And I will see y'all next time. This is Ms. B. Bye, y'all.